Felix, I start with you. You're really a role model for the young generation in Bavaria, not only in Bavaria, in Germany, even more in Germany. I know that you love your country, you love your neighborhood, you're an Alpine, now I say activist. You really fight for good nature in the Alps, but not only in the Alps. What is your cause? What drives you after your phenomenal ski racing career?
Well, I have a little problem with the word activist, because I think I have a meaning, and I am in a position, like when you are in public, that you can change something. And it's about the next generation. We have 3 little kids at home, and it's all about the next generation. How can we educate the young generation that they know how to handle their life, that it's in common with the nature? So what I did was, like, I founded a foundation 4 years ago, and the main goal was to bring kids to sport, to bring kids out to the nature, to educate kids that they don't spend too much time in front of a smartphone, like, because digitalization is growing unbelievably quick, and I think it's healthy for the kids to get out to the nature, that they build like that the nature and the kids, that there's growing something together, that they know how to live their lives, that they can enjoy the nature, and that it's good for the nature.
Absolutely. I think to be in nature is essential for children. I spent my early childhood on a mountain hut in the Rotwandgebiet, and I think this was essential for my biography. I love it.
Yeah, but you know, you grew up on a hut, yeah, as me too. My father's parents, they had a hut in the mountains. My mother's parents as well. Like, when you grow up there, you have a different meaning about the nature and about the animals and the plants and everything. You know them. It doesn't help you when you see it on a screen. You need to feel it, that you know how what is going on out there. But in these times, so many kids are living in big cities. Our educational system is a mess, in my opinion. When it's about the nature, when it's about sports, when it's about movement, etc. So when our educational system feels not responsible for these things, you need to try different solutions, and that's why we built these programs. One of them is called Nature Heroes. I founded it together with my father, and we bring every year 80,000 kids to sports. Now we started with 500 schools, so we try to bring a lot of kids out there, and that the education is not in a classroom, that it's out in nature, and I think this is very, very important to bring the kids out there again.
I totally agree. Stefan, you all saw this wonderful booth next to this room. Have you seen it? Have you seen the Swarovski Optik gadgets and binocular gadgets? Is like activists, not so good word, but these wonderful tools, which brings us closer to nature. Stefan, you're the CEO of this company, Swarovski Optik. What is your relation to nature?
I mean, like Felix and yourself, yeah, and we are almost neighbors.
Yes.
I was born pretty much in the same area. I was born in the Alps, surrounded by lake, mountains, forests. So my childhood was outside in nature. And all my professional career from day one, I spent with brands who have the consumer, the nature consumer, the outdoor consumer in mind. So I'm very close to nature since all my life.
And tell me a little bit more about your business strategy. What are you doing at Swarovski Optik?
I mean, I don't want to talk too much about
But
strategy,
I want you,
but
because it's a fantastic company. Sorry
but-
for this, but
yeah.
do a little talk about.
I will, but I wouldn't call it strategy. I would call it the reason why we exist. The reason why we are in business is because we love nature. And we have a clear purpose, and that's why also people and human beings are joining us as an organization. And our goal is to inspire people to love and care for nature. And when you ask people what is our core competency, a lot of people would say, yeah, you manufacture sports optic. I would say no, our core competence is nature.
What is nature to you?
Nature is everything which is basically, first of all, something which less and less people understand, get to know, are far away from nature. Nature is all what is the outside, is what we need to protect and what we need to learn more about it. And I fully agree on what Felix said when we talk about kids, about education and all of that. I think it's so important that we need to educate kids very early, because if they understand nature, if they see nature in a different way, the likelihood of protecting the nature in the future is much higher than if they don't understand it, if they're sitting in front of screens and all of that. So I think it's really important. For us as a company, kids are anyway important. We have a kindergarten on our site. We have 40 kids, which we host in our kindergarten, which more outside than inside. And by looking at those kids, we thought like, wow, they have so much fun being outside in the forests. They're much calmer. They don't need so much tools or gadget, what you said, and they have so much fun. They're smiling all day, and we said, well, we are producing sports optic, but we don't have any. You called it gadget. We call it a premium product. But we developed a product for kids in order to get closer to nature, and I have it here with me. It's not. I don't want to make a product demonstration, but it's about having something special for kids, which is lighter, smaller, have smaller hands. It's easy to handle. It looks way cooler than our dull adult products, and then we gave it to our testimonials on site, to our kindergarten, and they have so much fun. So we introduced this binocular this year, and get a great feedback, because now we get our kids around the world closer to nature, to animals, to plants, and all of that, and we very much believe they will protect it for the future.
Nevertheless, technology plays a role in your company. How do you see it?
Yeah, technology. I think technology is important, but I think technology should not replace the real world. So I think it should enable consumers to have more fun, more education, but it should not replace reality. What Felix was talking about, looking at smartphones and all that, that's not reality. That's fake. That's something which is artificial. We believe we need to go back more to nature. So we had a project started 6 years ago where we thought, like, how can we enhance the consumer experience in a better way? How can we give education as well with our products? And then we came out with the first smart binoculars. The first smart binocular was not invented and developed in Silicon Valley. It was invented and developed and produced in Absam in Tyrol. We're very proud of that.
A smart binocular. What is it?
And it's basically combining the real world. So it's a binocular, a real binocular. So you have the best view of the real world, but it also combines technology and artificial intelligence in order to help not to only see things closer, but also to detect and learn about it. So if you watch birds or other animals, you press a button, and then the binocular tells you what animal or what bird you're watching. So we have about 8,000 birds you can identify, and then you also can then get more details on the app about the animal. And it's again the same approach. We want to educate about nature, because the more people know about nature, the more likely they will protect it for the future, and they get more sensible about what nature can be for us in the future as well.
Felix, how do you react?
I mean, it's, because I said we need to, like, the kids are spending so much time on the smartphones and that the screen time. I mean, when you imagine that young people between 14 and 17 years old, that they have an average screen time right now up to 8 hours per day. I mean, they still go to school.
They sleep.
They sleep normally. I mean, how should they spend the time outside in the nature when the time is already, when the day is full packed? And I mean, you need to find a solution together with the digitalization to bring the kids out to the nature again. Otherwise, you do not reach the young generation anymore. And I mean, I was testing it before. It's really a cool tool. I mean, when you can see, like my kids, they are 6, 4, and 2 years old, and already the little one. When you give her, like, I mean, we don't have this at home. We have a big one at home, but still, it happens something when she looks inside, and everything looks so close, and she can see the mountains up there. Like, it does something with the kids.
Absolutely.
It's like a magical moment.
Yeah.
And when you can learn something because of that about the nature, how the birds, what's the name of the bird? What's the name of the animal?
Yeah.
When you see it close, like you can see the magic of the animals. So I think it's amazing, absolutely.
Well, I have to tell you something. For me, it's also a magical moment. If I look in the mountains, in some woods, with my binoculars, it's like, you know, everyone is talking about wellness, but having this binocular in my arms and seeing an eagle in the sky or a mountain goats on the mountains, it's almost a Zen moment. It keeps us balanced. It makes us more grounded, more meditative. I think it's so important for all of us to get into ourselves, into our nature around us. And I think Stefan and Felix, this helps a lot. Looking through these glasses from eye to nature, and have this moment of discovery, something special in your glasses. Who of you knows about this experience? Some of you, and I really encourage all of you, try it out. You know, some of you are doing meditation, some of you are reading books, but going out to nature and wait for the moment to see something special and bring it closer to you. This is an elevating moment, at least for me.
I think it's very important as well that when you're up on the mountain or in the nature, that you do not put out your smartphone first and do a photo, that you do the photos with your eyes, because this you will remember for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And then you can do the photo with the smartphone, but at first, please, with your eyes and have a look.
Absolutely true.
What's going on out there? I think this is also very important.
You're so right, and I think it brings us closer to nature. And what I'm also fascinated by your company, Stefan, is what you do in Costa Rica. Can you give us a short idea of it?
Yeah, basically since many years we had projects, supporting and biodiversity projects around the globe and all of that. But we were collaborating, we were supporting. But then we said, well, I think we need to do something differently. I think we need to get more into responsibility. So what we decided is we need to do a project by ourselves. So we bought a piece of land in Costa Rica, a rainforest with one of the highest densities of biodiversity. And we have this by our own. The company owns that, and that puts a lot of responsibility to us. And that's a cool thing. And so we have clear goals. So the first goal was just to protect this rainforest, nothing else. Just to protect everything which is happening there. And the second thing was to inspire people, consumers around the world, when we communicate pictures and all of that about the rainforest. But also we had local events with the local schools in Costa Rica because they even don't know a lot about their closest environment. So we take the schools in our rainforest and teach them about what's happening there. And there's another goal, and as we are in business, we always set up ourselves some KPIs, and we have one KPI set ourselves. We wanna inspire by leading, inspire other companies in order to do the same what we did. Investing in a piece of land, in protecting something, run it by themselves, owning it, having the responsibility. And we have set a goal that we wanna motivate 40 companies in the next 3 years in order to do the same. And probably everybody thinks about that's a drop in the ocean, but if you find 40 drops in the ocean and it could accelerate, I think that could be quite a nice Greek coming out, and I think that is something we need to do, because we could do one thing, we could lean back and wait for the Marcus Suders of the world to do the job for us, which won't happen basically, or we as companies, we lead and go and do something, act, and not wait until the framework is there, until something can happen. So we said, let's do it, and it's really cool. It's amazing what we can do that, and I hope that we are getting closer to our KPI probably after the DLD event. So whenever you feel free, and we will tick a box if you come to me and say, yeah, we're going to copy paste you. We're getting closer to our goal.
Isn't this an amazing initiative? Finding 40 companies to invest together to make...
Not together, everybody by himself.
Yeah, by himself,
we invested.
yes.
It's not a corporation. We don't want any money. Just become a doer and do it by ourselves. That's it.
Drops in the ocean. Felix, how do you like? Have you ever been in Costa Rica?
I think the skiing there is not that good, or?
Not yet. Not yet.
And it shouldn't get, by the way.
No, I have never been there, no.
But how do you like this initiative?
Too many poisoned animals there, I think. No, it's a great initiative, of course. I mean, the companies, like, I see it. I had so many meetings with politicians about our educational system and what we can change and everything. And when you talk to them what we have to change, that the young kids, that they get more healthy, that they do more sports and yada, yada, yada. The politicians say, yeah, we could do that and that and that, and it takes forever. What I found out with my foundation, when you work together with big companies, then you can make something happen. Mm. And I think the big companies must be responsible for that. So sure. I think it's great what you're doing, and I hope that a lot of big companies are doing it. We heard just right before the guy from Bayer. So these companies are responsible. They can do so many things. Mm. They can really change something.
Absolutely.
We
cannot wait for the politicians. We do it by ourselves.
That's a wonderful finish of our session. We cannot wait for the politician. We have to do it ourselves. Thank you so much, Stefan. Thank you so much, Felix. And